I'm Dylan Kendall, and I'm talking today from Heidi Auber's store here in Los Angeles because I'm going to answer that question which has been burning on every vegan's mind. Is velvet vegan? And I know it's been burning on everybody's mind because we've all fallen in love with that great Seinfeld episode where George wanders into his new girlfriend's apartment and immediately starts stroking the couch and asks if it's velvet. And she replies, it is. Does he like velvet? And what does he say? I would drape myself in velvet if it were socially acceptable. And I think we kind of all feel that way. We'd all drape ourselves in velvet if it was socially acceptable. There is just something really quite magical about velvet. It moves so wonderfully, it's soft, it's silky. So to answer the question, is velvet vegan? First of all, we have two types of velvet. We have velvet for fashion and we have velvet for home. Velvet for fashion, historically not vegan. Velvet is actually silk fibers woven into a 2-ply that make it really, really dense, and silk is really expensive. So anytime you find a piece of fashion made out of velvet that's sort of priced into the hundreds, odds are not vegan. However, recently, we've introduced all these synthetic blends that we're now weaving into velvets. And so when you find something a little bit more affordable, check the manufacturer's label because it absolutely could be a cotton blended velvet like the skirt I'm wearing, or a semi-synthetic woven out of lyocell or raffia, or synthetic flat out polyester, nylon, and it'll give you all the same texture that we love with silk velvet without any of the cruelty. Velvet for home, like the couch I'm sitting on, is actually probably going to be vegan. Why? Because silk is an organic material and it will erode. Quite frankly, it's not a very durable material for an upholstery fabric, right? So silk velvet, used on couches will eventually, it's much more difficult to clean. It will eventually tear or rip, the color fades. It simply doesn't have that same, again, durability, that same flexibility that a synthetic blended velvet will have, even with like your accent pillows. I strongly suggest you always, again, read manufacturer's labels, but that, $50 velvet pillow you're buying at Crate & Barrel, probably vegan. Again, check labels. But I think, I want to just remind you that if you wander into that apartment in New York and you see that great, gorgeous vegan velvet couch, odds are it's probably 100% cruelty-free and vegan. Thanks very much for watching. I hope I answered all your questions. If you liked the video, please consider liking it with that like button below, and definitely consider subscribing to the channel. I'll have more tips on great vegan options for home that are chic and that are affordable and will keep your home 100% happy and cruelty-free. Thanks so much.